push the big button.
It's been pushed. Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning into the BAMF podcast. I'm your host, Mike Lafferty, and I'm here with Jacob Blackman. How you doing, Jacob?
Hello. Happy New Year, everyone.
All right. Happy New Year. And on this last day of 2019, we're reviewing Starfinder, Character Operations Manual. Jacob, what'd you think about this book?
I was very impressed with this book. When Starfinder came out a couple of years ago, it looked like it was going to really change how RPGs were presented, and Paizo just did a smashing job with it, because you got the rules and you got this wonderful setting, the packed worlds to go along with it. And this book, the Character Operations Manual, is to the core rule book of Starfinder what the Advanced Player's Guide was to the original Pathfinder book. So it's all about presenting new classes, new background options, more feats, more spells, and all sorts of fun new things for your characters to do. It is really, really neat. It's got a lot of nice new options in here.
Okay, cool. This is some nice art too.
Oh yeah, that is one thing I can really say about this. Starfinder has some pretty decent art. You know, it's all very science fantasy in its presentation, but the art crew really went all out with this new book. The Starfinder core rule book really showcased the couple of races they wanted to present as the core races. But this new one, the Character Operations Manual, they're showcasing a whole bunch of the various different player races that have been made available through not only the core rule book, but also through some of the expanded material, the adventure paths, the alien archives, because now there are 3 of them, and all 3 of them have more player races you can be. Or species, as they regard them in the book. But yeah, it is such amazing works of art in here of all the different species and classes. It's just beautiful. You should really, if you're in love with science fiction art, you should just take a look at this book for the art alone.
Okay, cool. Any downsides?
Well, it has the one downside for Starfinder that I generally have, which is their equipment. I am not a huge fan of the leveled equipment. I just don't like it. But I can house rule that and get around it, because I think a gun should be a gun. You shouldn't have to level up your gun. Yeah.
I would agree.
But yeah, it's got in general, so people know, it has new themes or backgrounds, like you can be a law officer, a street rat, a noble, an athlete. Those are just some new backgrounds, and those can be added to any of the classes you want. That just gives you an idea of who you are before you became an adventurer. And then we move on to the 3 new classes, which are strange, because they really try to make these things new and unique to the setting. They didn't just want to be, oh, it's just a different kind of spellcaster. No, this thing is the biohacker. It's all about, using biotechnology and technology and a mix of magic here and there to transform things and transmute things and augment your abilities. So yeah, they're just so interesting with how they build these things.
There's a bunch of new classes here. Biohacker, Hawker.
Yeah, this one has three entirely new classes. You get the biohacker, you get the vanguard, who is a melee combat expert, um, but they have like supernatural powers of entropy that can kind of like it kind of like augments time and around them. So like if you want it to be like a Prince of Persia class, the Vanguard would be along with what you're looking at.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. Then
And
there's
then you've got the Witch Warper.
Is this your Scarlet Witch kind of option?
Kind of, yeah. They kind of alter reality around them. It's not so much that they're casting magic, but they're manipulating. They're using magic to manipulate reality. Is what it is. So yeah, I would say very much like the Scarlet Witch, how she's usually presented. Yes.
Okay. Then other new class, the Envoy.
Anything after the Biohacker, Vanguard, and Witch Warper, once you get past that, they have a whole bunch of new class options for the existing classes that came out of the core rule book, such as the Envoy, the Soldier, the Solarian.
These are just okay. So these are expanding on existing classes. This isn't whole new classes. Okay.
Yeah, but they do present entirely new options for those classes. So anyone who still wants to play those classes now has new things to do with them.
Okay, cool. And here are more archetypes: Android Abolitionist, Battle Flower. Okay, so that's some kind of monk.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting about the archetypes of Starfinder is they are intended to be added to any class.
Okay.
You can be a biohacker battle flower. You can be a operative battle flower. It's just what abilities do you want to swap out from your existing class to get those battle flower abilities.
Okay.
Some things are going to work. Some things are going to work better than others, but in general, the archetypes are intended to go with any class.
Can I ask what an esotericist is?
The esotericist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean to quiz you. I'm sorry.
No.
I hadn't heard that phrase.
I read as much as I could of this book. But it's a really deep read because a lot of this there's a bunch to get here.
It looks like this is a spellcaster who doesn't necessarily play well with technology. Just skimming the first paragraph.
Yeah, they're all about using magic in its purest form.
Okay.
They unlike the Technomancer, who is all about combining technology and magic. The esoterist is just a magic user. They don't want to focus their spells through a mystic rod or anything. They just want to conjure the symbols like spellcasters do and be all about the magic.
Okay, cool. Let's just I don't want to go in depth, just kind of look at the art. Espionage specialist, that's probably self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. Fixer, I think we know what that is. Free trader, that's your Han Solo, your Mal Reynolds type. Instructor, yeah. Medic, okay. Power armor jockey, well, that's kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
And Starlight, which I'm guessing is another guild famous for working with star metals. Okay. Star metal. All right, cool. So what's your verdict on this one?
In general, I'm pretty happy with the character operations manual. It's got, like I said, it's got a ton of options. You've got a whole bunch of new feats, equipment, spells. Oh god, there's
There's so many feats.
There are I wanted to say like 170 new feats or something. No, it's not 170. It was like only 70 new feats. I'm talking out my butt here.
No worries.
But the fact is the feats are pretty fun. You can do fun things like the living ladder, where where you're prone and you hit a target with an unarmed attack. You're basically grabbing them and making them help you up.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
And causing them to fall prone.
All right. So those feats, equipment. I'm guessing that's short. Only 8 pages for the equipment chapter.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of extra equipment in this because they did the armory last year, and so you've already got a huge book to get dedicated to just equipment. There's a few extra things here that were nice, but mostly it's a couple extra bits here and there that are nice to add.
And chapter 5 is new spells, and it looks a little more.
Because you've got a couple of new classes that are dedicated to spell casting. We wanted to have some more spells available to that. One of these things, haunted armor.
Oh.
You divert a malicious spirit to haunt another person's armor. That was just something I thought was creepy cool for a science fantasy game.
That is a pretty cool concept.
You need that armor to survive in space? Haha, it has a ghost in it now. I'm thinking of like 3 jokes. I'm not going to make any of them, but yeah, that's a pretty cool concept. All right. So let's see, we're going through the spell description and don't want to drag too far down in minutia. Yeah, really great art the whole way through. Oh yeah, it's gorgeous stuff. And I especially like that page right there where you get just the people hanging out in the bar, the cantina as it is. And I just love those day-to-day scenes of living the life in a science fantasy world.
Yeah, now we have reached the part of the book where they have chapter names like other rules. Mm-hmm. It looks like this is mainly Starship Combat, which I thought Starfinder already covered. What's different here about Starship?
Well, they've added a couple of new crew rules. Because there were some times where people were like, I've got nothing to do on the ship, I'm the magic user, but so I don't have anything to do during combat. I guess I'll be a gunner, So instead, they've added a few new abilities, like the chief mate, who's all about getting various systems to push them and their performance. And then they have the magic officer, where, if magic, you can do things like empower the ship's weapons to be magical. Because, there are dragons in this universe, and they need magic weapons to be hit.
Okay.
And you can do things like, honing your talents. I don't want to be breaking all Star Wars here, but honing the forces of the universe to do that precise shot and scrying on your bad guys, so you can figure out what might be going on their ship and getting an idea of what to do and react to that.
Okay, cool. And we got open crew actions, some more Starship rules, minor crew actions, downtime section.
The downtime section is something here that I really enjoyed.
Okay, tell me about it.
One thing, especially in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, that they included was a selection of downtime events, things you could do while you weren't adventuring. We're just hanging out in town, but I don't want to just hang out in town. I want to do things,
Like
and have it mean something. I want to go and carouse and maybe meet someone who would be an interesting NPC or a contact, or I want to go to work and make money doing that, or I want to build a new thing, or add a little doodad to my equipment, and they did that for 5th edition D, and Starfinder here took that to heart.
Okay.
With these downtime rules, so you can do things like analyze some alien device that you found that you don't know what it does, so you spend time doing research and figuring out what this strange artifact is. Like I said, carouse is on there, so you can spend some time just going to bars, hooking up, trying to make contacts.
We see the Vanguard here playing what looks like a Street Fighter clone.
Yeah, there's one where you're just lounging.
Yeah,
you spend some have some you time, catch up on your favorite TV shows, play video games. You pretty much do that for a certain amount of time, and when you're done, you come out nice and relaxed. Your hit points are feeling good. You're all mellow. You have bonuses to your saving throws because you're in a good headspace.
Yeah, cool. All right, that is some interesting rules. I didn't know that was in 5th ed. That's kind of nifty. So, all right, and we go through the rest of those, and then
and that's pretty much it. The downtime rules finishes out the book.
All right, cool. So this is a recommendation for you. This is you would buy if you were a Starfinder player.
Absolutely. If you're playing Starfinder, this is something that is definitely a need to buy. But that's honestly been true of a lot of their books. One of the things I've discovered since Starfinder came out is that all of their books are intended for both GM and players. There is something for both in all of them. The Alien Archives, all 3 of them, not only have monsters for the GM to throw at the players, but it has a whole bunch of new player races that they complete, new alien species to discover and to play, and sometimes technology or magic that is associated with those specific alien species. So all of that is intermingled in every single book.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. All right. Well, hey, I will stop sharing that screen. And once again, that was the Starfinder Character Operations Manual from Paizo. You can find it now on Paizo Store or Drive-Thru RPG or wherever you buy your role-playing game products. So thanks, Jacob. And you had something else you want to touch on?
Indeed. In a similar vein, if you are playing RPG games, you may enjoy using maps. And last year there was a Kickstarter by Yarrow Studios to create the immersive battle map book. And this is a giant, thick book. If you can get this whole thing on the screen here, this is a big book. It is far larger than a standard rule.
Yeah, that's that looks like that's 2.5 to 3 feet long.
Yeah, this thing will not fit on your shelf, but it has beautiful maps in here. It folds out and it lays flat, no matter how you put it on the table, and the maps are double paged, so you can pretty much use them as is for whatever you happen to need. And yeah, he recently released this as the reward from his Kickstarter, and he's just advertising now that he is taking pre-orders for his space map book.
Oh, okay. So that's not going to be crowdfunded. That's just going to be produced regularly, and you can buy it right now.
Absolutely, you can pre-order it now. Let me.
Is that YaroStudios.com?
Let me share the. It is YaroStudios.com.
Okay.
And yeah, it is the immersive battle maps in space. He's taking pre-orders now. The price has been reduced to $40 from its usual $60.
Okay.
And it will be shipping in March. Just in time for our birthday. Yay!
Well, happy early birthday, Jacob. I guess you know what to get you now. So, hey, I wonder if I could put a banner in here. Let's try that. Scroll across bottom, ticker. Hey, there we go.
Excellent. Yes.
Nice.
Use the doobly-doo as some people refer to it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Sounds good. All right. Well, I wanted to keep this a short and fun review session, so we didn't drag on too long because YouTube metrics tell us people stop watching after 5 or 10 minutes. So check out the character operation manual from Paizo and go to yarostudios.com and check out his upcoming battle massel.
Immersive battle maps in space.
We're in sync. That's perfect. All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll catch you next time with the BAMF Podcast. Any closing thoughts, Jacob?
Please support the Patreon.
Yep. BAMF Podcast is on Patreon. And if you support us, you will become more sexually attractive to the gender of your choice. So definitely check that out. See you next time with the BAMF Podcast. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.